Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Just as I start the reading, someone starts banging. It's always the way. Yeah, I'm reading for Leo energy. It's kind of like a you and them reading. So we'll kind of find out who you're dealing with, what's going on with that relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic, although it could be romantic. As always, take what resonates, leave anything that doesn't. It's a general reading, not a personal reading. And you can feel free to go and check out your other placements because you're not just Leo, you're all signs, right? Anime and Monday, all things. So your 12 houses, all the planets move around those 12 houses. You're affected by all the signs of the zodiac at different points in your life. So definitely go and check out your full birth chart and just get familiar with the placements that seem to resonate more strongly with you. So for example, if you've got something going on that is romantic in your life, you might want to check out your Venus sign, also your Mars, because this can all talk about kind of like sexual energy, drive. If it's like a career, business, something that you want to put effort into, that would also be like Mars. Mercury's social groups, friendships. The moon sign is kind of like your secret self, your hidden self, also to do with fears and the psyche and things like that. So absolutely go and check out all those different placements. Highly recommend. Lilith, if you want to do some shadow work as well. I don't know if you're back on top form, Leo. Your energy is kind of... I tried to do your reading once already and I just had to stop because it wasn't making any sense. So I don't know if there's something going on in your life where something just doesn't make sense. It's like the more you try and look at it, the more confusing it gets, or something like that. Or maybe there's this idea of something that's kind of like really overwhelming, is like too much to think about with this card here. So you're definitely getting stuff about king, which doesn't surprise me because like Leo is the lion, right? Lion's the king of the jungle, but I've been seeing the word king constantly in my cards. So originally, like as I was starting your previous reading, you had two cards that said king. I think it was my own deck, this king card here, and the king card from this, which was also with father. So I don't know, like the father, the king, the head of the household, could be that kind of concept. Patriarchy, maybe. But what's strange was when I actually started to do your reading, Queen came out. So, which was funny because I was channeling that song, I Am King by Florence and the Machine, right? Which is a female singing I Am King. We could be dealing with, because you were getting this thing about like mirroring in the previous reading, we could again be talking about kind of the persona and the anima, or the persona and the animus, which is a Freudian, not Freudian concept, maybe slip of the tongue, maybe Freud is something that you're looking into. It's Carl Jung. I talk about it a lot in my readings, this idea of like shadow work, but also kind of like the construct of archetypes in our own mind, right? If you hear the word mother, what does that conjure up in your own mind? You know, your concept of a mother might be different to somebody else's concept of a mother. So like an English person's concept of a king might be different to an American's concept of a king, right? People may have different feelings associated with these words. So yeah, and it's all to do with our own personal... Sorry, cat hairs. My cat's been sleeping on here. So again, Leo energy, like feline, Felix energy, definitely showing up strong in your reading. And I've also got cat... Right, confession, Leo. You would think I would have a bit of pride, right, coming to your reading. So painting my nails, and I should know better. I should know not to paint my nails when I'm doing a fire sign reading because I can't sit still. So yeah, I went and stroked the cat while my nails were still wet and I just completely messed them up. So if you're noticing little cat hairs, I didn't want to like kind of stop and redo them because I'd started to channel for you, and I didn't want to kind of like break the flow because again, because I was having a bit of trouble doing your reading initially. Now that it's flowing, I'm like, I don't want to stop the flow. So yeah, you're gonna have to put up with furry nails, and then maybe they'll look better by the time I do Virgo's reading. I imagine Virgos are quite good at kind of like doing things and sitting still and doing them properly and being a bit perfectionist. Like I feel like Virgo energy is a better energy to paint my nails in. Anyway, so you've also got this business King Diamond Crown. You had cards as well that said success, Ace of Cups, and what was the other one? Let me just grab my notes. Success, Ace of Cups, and power. Success and power. You're coming through with all this king energy. Crown, diamond. It's kind of like the diamond in the crown. So and then with this seed and Anime Monday, it was like the seed of an idea that's turns into everything, right? It's like it's like having an idea that turns out to be massive for you, basically, because Anime Mundi is like everything. And it's just this tiny seed that's growing into this big thing. So it's almost like you found the missing piece, is the way it's coming through. And it seems like it's really small right now, but it's something that's going to grow, and it's going to grow into kind of associated with your power and success in the future. So you've definitely, if you, it just feels like you're onto something. You can see how like the person in the middle has this kind of, light on their head. It's like that's the seed, that's the diamond. So it's like having your crown, right? You being Leo, you being the kind of the lion energy, the leader, the king of the pride. Again, don't get too hung up on kind of like gender here. Just flip it and reverse it if you want to kind of, you know, see yourself as queen rather than king. Absolutely flip it and reverse it. I feel like, again, this is kind of like that Carl Jung anima thing coming through. It's almost like the mirror self. I'll come back to that. But yeah, it's like if you feel like you've been creating your kingdom, you know, making your crown, it's like you've been looking for that like signature piece, right? You've been looking for that you know, massive diamond to really kind of set the whole thing off. And it's like, now you found it, here it is. And again, it could be to do like your crown chakra or your third eye. It's like, it's almost like your crown chakra being lit up, and then finding like the right jewel to place on your third eye, and kind of like everything, just really seeing everything. It's like very expansive, almost like they're showing me like putting on 3D glasses, you know, at the cinema. If you put on those kind of like 80s 3D glasses, the kind of paper ones with the green, is it green and red? It's like you see things really differently. Kind of like, yeah, like Matrix energy, VR maybe. Yeah, it's a real different way. It's like red pill, blue pill kind of energy. It's like this real different. It's like everything opening up for you is the way it's coming through. So that I'm hearing unlocking your true potential. There's something about, again, this Anime Mundi is kind of like everything. So it's beyond just yin and yang, black and white, masculine, feminine. It's beyond the polarities. It's more encompassing than that. And it's like everything's contained in this tiny seed. So it's kind of like blueprint or DNA, or it's like the beginning, right? It's like the beginning of everything, like the Big Bang that started the universe. You know, a tiny, like the universe coming from a tiny speck of dust. It's something really like explosive and massive and all-encompassing, but it's like everything is condensed into this tiny seed. It's making me think of like, have you ever heard of like data storage on holograms, like data storage on crystals? You can get basically the entire internet onto a tiny little hologram. Basically, they're like a vast data storage. Okay. Check your balls. Just one of my notes. Check your balls if you've got them. Whatever that means to you, right? It was coming through the idea of kind of like, I actually saw, so I get visions, and one vision that I saw was somebody like a guy like checking the underside of his balls in a mirror. Couldn't see a face, so if this is you, don't worry, it's anonymous kind of thing. But I did see kind of like someone being very sensible and looking after themselves, and just checking around down there to see if there are any lumps and bumps. So again, there could be something to do with testicular. See, I don't want to say the word, it goes like speaking things into existence, right? But yeah, just check yourself, check your gonads, you know. Or maybe you're raising money or something like that for it, like a charity thing. Madonna, a lot of Madonna energy coming through. So it could be Madonna the singer, it could be, she is a Leo, it could be the Madonna, right, the mother of Jesus. Lots of Madonna coming through. In, I don't know the word Madonna, so I don't know how it applies to you. Like mother, maybe. You've got something about, so like I was saying, like I was seeing a guy and I couldn't see his face. I could just see him checking his nuts, right? There could be something about photos, right? Maybe this is something that you're experiencing where You've got a photo, but you can't see the face. There's something about anonymity. It could be something about the internet, people being anonymous or having alter egos on the internet. It's got a slightly spooky side coming through with this. So I don't know if this is something that you're having trouble with, like if it's something that's a problem for you. But we'll kind of see what comes out in the cards. I don't want to kind of like dive too deeply into it. Without having the cards to kind of give me that extra information. But you had the song Jane Doe by Layla Blue. Now, what's really interesting is in Aries' reading, it's like this thing that came up in Aries' reading coming back around. So in Aries' reading, I was talking about this idea of like Jane Does and people who are like things like anonymous jury and things like this, like like a trial, or people who are giving testimony at a trial, but they don't want to be named. So it's like Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3. Obviously, as well, if there's a victim, they can be Jane or John Doe. It's kind of, but again, the anonymity of that. But instead of being like anonymous, like this person is just one of many, right? They're forgettable, like just one face in the crowd. It was coming through almost the opposite, like no, Jane Doe is all of us. We are all Jane Doe. We are all John Doe. Kind of again with this Anna Monday and like connectivity. It's like it could be something like if I let it happen to them, then I'm letting it in a way happen to myself. I have to stand up, I have to have a voice, I have to speak out. It could be something like that. So do go and check out Aries' reading if you've got Aries placements, or if this is resonating for you. Because again, they had this thing about almost like it was coming through like a woman who was pretending to be another woman, or a woman who was copycatting another woman. So it could be something to do like, dating profiles or accounts, like social media accounts, somebody setting up an account, but it's they're kind of pretending to be somebody else, or they're using someone else's pictures. So catfishing, I think it's called. I just got the word again. So just be wary of that. Just be careful, because you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know if it's really that person, right? It could be somebody pretending to be that person. This actually came up. One of my family members, an older family member, I got a text message from them telling me to use a social media app that I don't use, and they also got a message from me at the same time telling them to use the social media app that and I think it was like a bit of a scam thing. So instead of clicking on the link, obviously I rang them and said, that's not me. Have you sent me this message? That's not me. I don't use that app. So it could be that sort of thing. So even if it's a case of like, just speak to the person directly and say, hey, is this you? Are you using this app? It could be something like that. Again, especially if it's kind of like faceless. If it's just like a body and no face. Just be wary as well about things like deep fakes, if you want to Google what deep fakes are, if you don't know. Kind of AI generated images, this kind of thing could be. There's a lot of scams around that at the moment, so just be careful. You've got life imitates art. You've also got this strange thing coming through. So, I love Lana Del Rey, and I was on her Spotify the other day, and Lana Del Rey is an alter ego. It's a performance name for the artist. She used to be Lizzy Grant. This was her previous stage name, and then she reinvented herself into Lana Del Rey. So again, the idea of reinvention, a woman with two different names, or an alter ego could be coming through. But yeah, she used to be Lizzy Grant, and her library of songs isn't available, I don't think, anymore. Not easily available. You can kind of find it. But yeah, like Spotify, like if you go on Lizzy Grant, you're not going to find those old songs. Yeah, so I know, because I've searched for them, that there was no official Lana Del Rey Lizzy Grant kind of account for a long time. And so when I was looking at her kind of bio on Spotify, I noticed that you could click on the name Lizzy Grant in her bio. And I thought, that's strange, because there never used to be an account, right? So I clicked on it, and it takes you to what appears to be a parody account, or like a fan account, like an appreciation parody fan Alter Ego, and it's Luca Del Mar, and it's kind of like parallel timeline Lana Del Rey. It's strange. You can go and check it out. I'm kind of like, what's going on here? And there's various accounts for this Luca Del Mar. So whether this is a fan, or whether this is some kind of promotional thing, it's a few years old, and it's all these kind of like alternate versions of Lana Del Rey's songs, right? Luca Del Mar, it's kind of like her animus almost, and gets very, very few views, which is really curious to me, because the strange thing is, if this is a fan account, then why is Lana Del Rey's bio linking to it as Lizzy Grant? So I feel like it's kind of like like a hidden promotional thing, like one day she's going to be like, and here's this account, it's going to be like part of a performance in some sort of way. I'm not sure. So I kind of Googled it. There's theories around it, but there's nothing. I can't really figure out what's going on with that. So again, this idea of kind of like not really understanding the situation could be coming through. But the song that came through for you anyway was Meadow Vista by Luca Del Mar, Chase McNillan, and Lizzy Grant. And again, Lizzy Grant is credited on that song. So it's kind of like official but unofficial. It's strange, right? It's weird. Yeah, so you've got Meadow Vista, Luca Del Mar, and Jane Doe by Layla Blue. And then the funny thing about Jane Doe by Layla Blue, I think I've been confusing Layla Blue and Lola Blanc because they're both LB, right? So again, there could be this idea of mistaken identity because two people look similar, or because two people have similar sounding names. So there could be some confusion where two people have kind of got mixed up, Lola Blanc and Layla Blue. So I was talking about Lola Blanc in Taurus's reading, if that makes any sense to anyone. So yeah, misunderstanding, somebody getting two people mixed up, like two people, similar names, similar, like even like a similar look, a similar vibe, kind of same demographic perhaps, like blonde hair, blue eyes, but not the same. Again, like it's making me think of Aries' reading. There's something going on. It's very strange. Again, like even alter ego, like there could be somebody who has alters. I mean, it could be alternate accounts, but could also be kind of like somebody who has multiple personalities. Yeah, because you did have, when I asked about who you are, you did have 3 cards originally in the first reading. So I'm not saying you specifically, the viewer, but Leo energy could be coming through with this general energy of multiple personalities. Maybe you feel very split at this time. Maybe you feel like you're trying to please different people and you have to wear a mask. You're a different person at work than you are around family. You're a different person around family than you are with friends. So you could have this feeling of kind of who am I? Who am I really? Which I feel like somebody could have been going through a period of kind of disconnecting. So it's almost like when I'm around people, this idea of kind of like when you're around people, you start to try and please them, or you start to try and, you adapt to fit the situation. This isn't a bad thing. It's something that I think is a design feature rather than a flaw. I think it's something humans do in order to find connection, right? We want to fit in with the group. But again, you can sometimes lose yourself a little bit in groups. So if there's been a lot of people around, you could have kind of started to take on some of their values as your own, and when you disconnect, you're like, oh, that's not really who I am. I don't really believe that, or that doesn't really resonate with me. I was just kind of caught up in the group. So I'm just kind of kicking my my table here. So yeah, you could feel like you've got caught up in something, and then it's kind of like when you disconnect from that group, you start to think, oh, hang on, that's not really who I am or who I want to be. Okay, I'm going to pause and have a sip of water, and then we'll kind of start pulling cards. And hopefully this reading is going to go better, because your original reading, I just had to abandon it halfway through. It just wasn't making any sense. So again, this could be something that you're kind of experiencing around now. This idea of kind of like a relationship or a situation that you just kind of like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I can't figure this out. I'm going to have to take a step back. It could be something like that. Okay, back in a sec. Okay, so I'm being drawn to the song list. They're showing me, I'm getting a visual of the song list in the description box below the video, which I haven't done yet, but I'm seeing it. So all the songs that come through in the reading hopefully will be listed down below in the description box. You can check those out, watch the videos, have a listen, see if any words or sentences or images pop out to you. They could be relevant for you at this time. I was getting told to use the devil playing cards, So maybe you've got some playing cards that have like devils on them. Maybe it's like a stylized playing card deck, but with the mirror energy, I was like, do they want me to use the Aleister Crowley Mirror of the Soul deck for you, which is not the devil's playing cards, right? But I could definitely see some people saying that. So we've got those out for you as well. Okay. Lovely, lovely Leos. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay, you've got a lot of stuff coming through because it's been a few days since I'd like tried to do your reading, so the energy's been gathering. I went to the zoo and I saw lions, which lions are my favorites. I love them so much. Big cats in general. And I was talking about the idea of kind of like, so the cats were they were just lying around sleeping, right? The big cats in these different exhibits, and every now and again they kind of get up and they'd have a walk around, and the crowd would go crazy. So there was a big group of people kind of like chasing like from window to window, fence to fence, like trying to take photos of these or see or get close to these big cats. So it's this idea of like the predator, right? This big cat, if that glass wasn't there, we would have been lunch, right? But this, like, why are humans attracted to this predator, right? Why are humans attracted to this big thing with claws and teeth that could, have you for breakfast? And this idea of kind of like being so magnetic or so attractive that your bait comes to you. It's like you don't have to go fishing. The bait follows you because you have this magnetic energy. So I'm not suggesting anyone eat anyone for dinner. We're not going down like Hannibal Lecter routes here, but this idea of kind of like you don't have to chase things. At the moment, Leo, you're very attractive, you're very magnetic, you have that kind of like honey energy, the idea of like attracting things like bees to honey. Again, go and check out Aries' reading. It could be something that's going on with fire signs at the moment, but again, that fire energy being very, very magnetic and attractive. It's kind of like being in the glow of the sun, right? The warmth of the sun. People want to be around you. They want to get close to that charisma. So even if you're not particularly good looking, I'm sure you are, Leos. Like, let me just stroke your ego for a second. I'm sure you're absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure when you paint your nails, you sit still and don't get cat hair on them. But yeah, like the idea of just you having a warmth about you, making people feel good. And you don't really have to do a lot to kind of reel them in, perhaps. Okay, Leos, lovely, lovely Leos. Kings of the jungle. What do we have for Leos? What's going on for Leos? What's the situation? Ice. Oh, fire and ice. We're back to Game of Thrones. Oh my god, Game of Thrones! Back to Game of Thrones. A Song of Ice and Fire, or Fire and Ice. I always get it the wrong way around. Okay, the Ice Throne. We're back there. So if you've been watching the last few readings, I have had this theme coming up, and I know it was coming through strongly in Leo's reading. The idea of kind of like, well, what if the King of Fire takes the throne of ice? The ice is going to melt, right? And the ice is going to turn to water, and it's going to put out the fire. So this idea of kind of like fire being your bravery, your passion, your impulsivity, your like your fire, your fire energy, your get up and go. But if you come into contact with something that's more swords energy, because to me ice is like the Ice Queen, right? Queen of Swords. If you get close to that kind of swords energy, which perhaps is more logic, more strategic, but melting it so that it becomes Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups would then be kind of like more emotion based, less logic, more emotion based. So it was coming through in one of your readings, this idea of kind of like, the King of Fire meets the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords would be Libra. King of Fire to me is Leo, but again, it could be Aries. So this idea of a relationship where somebody's very passionate, somebody, somebody who gets what they want kind of thing, or a go-getter. Somebody who's got that fire energy to them, but when they get close to the Queen of Swords, it's like it's the Queen of Swords kind of loses her mind, perhaps, right? She stops being logical, she stops being icy and strategic because she's warmed up by the King of Fire's heat, and she melts. And by melting, it's like she gets in her heart, she gets in her feelings, she gets emotional, she stops making logical choices and she starts to make emotional choices. But obviously the water puts out the King of Fire's fire, right? It quenches the fire. So the King of Fire will also change, and he turns into the King of Earth, so which is practical grounders. So I don't know, it's almost like two energies that destroy each other, or two energies that transform each other into something else. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did get kind of like the Death card, Judgment card, and things like that in this reading. But ice, it could be also the relationship, the situation between you and another person is on ice. You know, it could be that you're not talking, the situation is very icy between you. Maybe you've kind of frozen each other out. Excuse me, I'm sorry guys. Breakfast. I'm getting ice baby as well. Ice baby. The self and the stone. So this is talking to me about getting really grounded, being very, very centered in the self. Again, this idea of like the anima and the animus just keeps coming through. The idea as well of like the missing piece, finding the diamond and slotting it into your crown. But this is kind of like finding a piece of yourself and slotting it in, right? So like it's like something that fits your... Okay, so what I'm seeing is I play a game called Detroit Become Human, and it's androids, and the androids have pieces that they can take out and slot in. So they have like a heart, kind of a bit like Iron Man, right? It's like they can take it out, they can slot it in, put in it. It's like changing the battery. So I'm not saying that you're an android or anything like that. Obviously, that'd be strange, but this idea of like finding... because this is on the heart, it's not on the crown. So it's like finding something that feels like it's the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle of the self. So if you felt like something was missing in your identity, right? Like you didn't know who you were, you felt a little bit like perhaps your persona was changing. It could be this idea of like, again, maybe there's something to do with Libra energy for you, because with Libra I say that the persona is just like the facets of a diamond, right? It's just the surface level. So in different situations you're going to present a different facet, but it doesn't mean that any of those facets are false. It just means that you're only just seeing one aspect of the whole, because to understand a full person, right, a whole human, humans are very, very complex, and you can't just meet someone and expect to know them on a surface level. Just like how I was saying, like someone's sun sign is just the persona. There's a lot more depth there. There's a lot more personality to discover beyond their sun sign. They've got the moon, the Venus, the Mars, you know, the whole birth chart. So it's kind of like finding... It's like finding... Say, for example, we all had... I'm talking in metaphors and stuff, guys, but it's like, say we all had a diamond in our heart, and this diamond was a lens to witness the entire personality through. So all the colours of the soul, and you find that diamond and you slot it into your heart space, and suddenly if you felt like your personality was fractured, it's kind of like it's all come together, and it's this beautiful kind of kaleidoscope of complex colours, and it's because you found that stone at the centre. So if you imagine, kind of, maybe this is a meditation technique you want to try, because this is something that I also do, like a lot of kind of, when you're meditating, they talk about a bright white light, and imagining you're breathing this light in, it's kind of going around your stomach, it's going up and down your body, and moving that white light around. Now imagine you could put that white light inside a diamond, right, with so many different facets, and then that is going to radiate all these different colors, and that's your full... Like the white light is your soul, and then the diamond is your is a way to kind of instead of seeing... Again, I'm thinking about like the seed with the Anima Mundi. It's kind of like the pure white light, right? If you put pure white light through a prism, you're going to see all the different colors. So it's kind of like breaking it down into... it's not like it's breaking it apart. It's that it's making the complexity visible, rather than it just being like this bright white light, this single seed of white light. It's kind of like putting it under a microscope and being able to see the complexity of it and the beauty, the beautiful complexity, like a kaleidoscope. So this is something, and again, with the idea of ice is like a diamond, right? Ice is like a clear, faceted crystal. It's water crystals, right? A diamond is diamond crystals. But it's like the idea of it being a prism that light can pass through. I don't quite know what I'm picking up on, Leo. Again, your readings are coming through as quite metaphorical and out there. But this is making, at least I can kind of explain what I'm picking up on in this reading, where the last reading I was just like, I just don't understand it. So I hope that's making sense. It's like you found this, it's like, it's something like your soul was always there, right? Your persona, your full consciousness, if you want to put it that way, was always there inside you, but you couldn't understand it properly, or you couldn't see it, or you couldn't, it wasn't fully realized, like fully witnessed, until you found this missing piece, which appears to be some sort of lens in order to like fracture or fractal it. But it's not like it's fractured or fractal, right? It's not like, I mean, again, it could be like every single one of these is a different online persona, but it's kind of like it's all coming from the same root, right? You can trace it back to that same initial spark of light, which is sorry, something else is coming through now with the idea of like Jane Doe. And I was saying like Jane Doe, it's not that they're forgettable, it's that they're everyone is Jane Doe, and Jane Doe is all of us, and John Doe is all of us, right? So it's the idea of kind of a name that represents everything. So we could be talking about like God consciousness, right? If you want to talk about God being, just as a theory, again, I don't know what your personal religious beliefs are, but let's take it as a theory, a philosophical discussion. If the idea of God, right, as a concept is this bright white light of creation, and God is everywhere, he's omnipresent, right? Omnipotent, omnipresent, all powerful, all knowing, everywhere. He is everything, in every single cell, in every single he, she, they, right? Because I don't think God is gendered, but like this concept of pure creation energy, being in everything, like the blueprint of every flower, the DNA, the nuclei of atoms, is everything, right? But it's all these different faces of God. So it's like God in all of us, God with how many people are on the planet? Like it's 80 billion people on the planet. God with 80 billion faces. Maybe. I don't know. What are we dealing with here? Leo, it's your reading. What am I on about? Okay. With the throne. It doesn't matter who's on the throne because we're all on the throne. It's just like one branch of the same tree. Ace of Cups again, like I talk about the Ace of Cups being like unconditional love, and if to me God was anything, it would be unconditional love. Truce. Okay, let's have a quick look at what the book says about this. And I said, didn't I, you had 3 cards that came out: power, success, and the Ace of Cups. Maybe this is something that you're praying for, right? The holy trinity of what you're wishing for yourself: love, success, and power. love, money, health, right? Something like that. Let me just flip through the book and see. Overflowing love, emotional clarity. Maybe that's what you're getting, emotional clarity. Again, the idea of clarity. Deep love of the self, giving and receiving. The white lotus is the symbol for love of a giving nature. It forms the base of the cup, which is blue, colour of the element water. Vertically through the cup flows a brilliant energy beam, uniting Earth and the cosmos. Oh, the Lana Del Rey song, the kind of alternative version of that, is in the original song, which is California. She says, if you come back to California. In the alternate version, he says, if you come back to my universe, which I think is going to be the title of your reading, Come Back to My Universe. You should hit me up. The cup is the medium which makes itself available for the coming together of the above and the below, inner and outer. The Ace of Cups is the feminine counterpart to the Ace of Wands, open, receptive, surrendering, bearing the transformatory power of giving love. The upper and lower portions of the painting embody the same quality. Below in the emotional realm of water, above in the ethereal sphere of the spirit. As above, so below, which is internally felt, expresses itself. That which is internally felt expresses itself externally, clearly and openly. So maybe this is about you expressing something that's internal, right? Emotional clarity results emphasized in the painting by its balance and harmony. The giving of love happens effortlessly. That which continually flows into us from the boundless abundance of the universe radiates outward again by itself. Radiates outward. It's like your heart. It's like your heart chakra opening up and radiating outwards, and which is very attractive, right? You want to be close to that because it's pure love energy. If we remain open and receptive, you can compare it with the flower which excludes its fragrance, whether someone comes close to enjoy its perfume or not. The giving is not dependent on individual, perhaps close people. There is so much to share. All of existence can take part in it. Becoming one with the all-embracing, omnipresent love is such a silent ecstasy, a cosmic orgasm. You are in contact with all-embracing love. It fills you and you can pass it on generously, lavishly to others. So the idea of being a channel, being, being your human self, you on this planet Earth, right? You can open your heart as a channel to allow the pure, unconditional love of the universe, the God, cosmos, to flow through you so that other people can experience that. So you can be an open channel of love, without expecting anything in return, because if you have everything, if you're connected to the one energy, if that flows through you, then you're not missing anything. So perhaps you have this feeling of fulfillment from within, rather than looking for people externally to satisfy you. At this time, let's keep going. So no wonder so many cards came out for you in the original reading, and no wonder I had trouble understanding what the message was. This makes sense now. Who is Leo? Kind of like, I'm not a king, I'm a god kind of thing. It's making me think of the Halsey song, I'm not a woman, I'm a god. Grandmother Spider. Oh, this card kind of showed up in my Libra reading, and I was like, it's my mum. And it says connection, right, with the web, like connectivity, ancient wisdom, guidance, connection, grandmother spider. So you're tapping into it. I don't know if it's that you're grandmother spider, but I think it's talking about this connectivity, right? This idea of kind of like we're all connected. We can all trace our DNA back to Adam and Eve, if you want to take the Bible version, or who is it, like Attila the Hun or somebody like that, like, that so many people are connected to genetically. So again, Aries has had this thing about ancestry and kind of like tracing lineage back. So again, this idea of kind of like, even like if it's not ancestry and DNA, it can be like degrees of separation. What is it, like something like 5 degrees, 6 degrees of separation? It's like everybody's connected to everybody through a number of steps. So I'm connected to King Charles, right, by so many steps. It's like this person knew this person who met this person who was this person's this person, and they knew King Charles, right? It's like everybody's connected. So how do you pull on those strings? So somebody else had this reading, the idea of kind of like the connectivity in the web, like drawing the curtain. So the idea of being in the center of the web and tugging on the strings to pull people closer to you rather than having to go and chase things. But also being a source of guidance and wisdom and, you know, connecting others. It's almost like you're connecting people, you're networking, you're perhaps putting people in touch with the right people. Okay, and who is on this web? Who is Leo consciously or unconsciously connecting with at this time? Who is Leo pulling in? Who is Leo dealing with? So it's kind of like, sorry, they're showing me something. It's kind of like connect the dots, right? But it's, have you ever played that? It's called like vertexes, vertex, something like that on, it's like one of those times online puzzles that you can do, like Wordle, right? Or connections. It's, or Sudoku, like they've got all these different puzzles, and one of them is like vertexes. And it's like you have to draw the lines to connect the dots. But it's almost like, maybe there's a dot that you're disconnected from with ice, right? It's like there's somebody that you can't talk to or somebody that's blocked you. It's kind of like if you cover the dots around it, like, so the people who are connected to the person, then you get a full view of the person, right? So this could be something like, say, hypothetically, you have a sister, and you and your sister had a big falling out and you don't talk to each other anymore, but you still care about them and you still want to check up on them, right? But they've blocked you. They're having a tizzy, they've blocked you. So it's like, right, okay, so I can't look at their account directly. I can't see what they're saying, right? They've blocked me on the internet. Like, I can't see their tweets, for example. They're not called tweets anymore, right? But I know that person, and I know that person, and I know that person, and I can view their accounts. And if I can view their accounts and see, you know, half of the conversation, I can get almost like a 360 view of like this, right? If you're trying to view this, if you have a 360 view, even though you can't access them directly, you can get coverage. It's kind of like looking like satellites around the world now, right? So so you're utilizing your network, you're utilizing your connection. So it could be that, again, you're trying to get information about somebody. So you're speaking to other family members, you know, you're speaking to your mum, you're speaking to your brother, you know, how's Sophie doing? Lydia, I'm hearing, so those names could be relevant. How's Lydia doing? Is she getting on all right? So it doesn't have to be creepy or anything like that, but it's kind of like you're utilizing your network. And so who's the, there we go, Archangel Raguel. Raguel, relationship healing and clear harmony. So yeah, this feels like somebody that you've fallen out with, or that you've stopped talking to, or I mean, it could be like grandmother and like mother and son. Could be Libra, just the scales on the neck, the yin yang. This video I was picking up on Libra energy, right? And it's funny that in Libra's reading, this was the guardian angel, right? This grandmother energy who felt so lovely. Like they felt so, because I'm a Libra, I've got a lot of Libra in my chart, and they just felt so protective. Because again, like, because it was coming through as like my mum, right? Like an older woman who cares. And so the idea of kind of like the, you know, like the web or this crochet is kind of almost like those dream catchers. So it's kind of like they're protecting you from the bad dreams. So you're protecting this person from the bad dreams, using your connections, even though you perhaps could be disconnected from this specific person. Okay, so tell me more about your energy, Leo. Why are you showing up as Grandmother Spider? Page of Coins. I feel like the Wheel of Fortune wanted to go this way. Again, Aries had this card. The Page of Coins in reverse. Is it in reverse? hold on a sec. So the idea of kind of like, actually, hold on, sorry. I've got family pottering around in the background there. Page of Coins and Wheel of Fortune. So it does feel like it could be in the upright. I'll kind of read it both ways. So the Page of Coins feels like, almost like Ace of Coins energy. It feels like an offer or an opportunity that could be right timing, right place, right time, or a plan. Again, there could be something about being out of sync. I was watching a TV show, and even though it was on a very respected, very legitimate, well-designed site, and it's a good TV show, like for some reason, maybe it was buffering, it appeared that it was out of sync, you know, when the person's lips are moving, but they're not quite in time with the words that they're saying. So there's this kind of like the audio and the visual are kind of ever so slightly out of sync, and it's very disconcerting. This idea of kind of like time, like a time glitch, like a plan. I'm going to pull more cards on that. You could feel very lucky, very fortunate. Again, if maybe you are networking, right? And this is bringing in a lot of opportunities to you. You're ready to learn, right? Maybe you're taking on an apprenticeship or something. There's like a new job perhaps that you're considering, or a new, they're showing me like, I can feel it. They're showing me putting on shoes. I'm feeling putting on shoes, like putting on loafers. This could be significant. But it's like stepping into the shoes, right? So it's like a training opportunity coming up, an opportunity to learn new skills. There could be some kind of like career plan that you're doing. It's kind of like, again, this idea of connectivity. It's kind of like you could be like, I'll move from that job to that job to that job. Tell me about Archangel Raguel. Unconditional love. Emperor on the bottom, if that's relevant. It's like Scarface, right? The world. I mean, it's the fifth element, right? Lilu, she does represent love. The fifth element's love in that movie. I love the fifth element. It's such a good film. It's kind of like looking to me a little bit like, I don't know why it's looking to me like he doesn't look like Bruce Willis, but like the two of them together, like, I don't know. Yeah, this person represents unconditional love to you, or you love them unconditionally. Again, they could be at some distance from you. This could be an online connection, again with connectivity and the idea of the web, right? This could definitely be an internet connection for you. Yeah, this person's, they feel like they're everything to you. Again, it could be like a child or something, you know, you love a child unconditionally. It could be somebody, maybe this relationship's fine, but being close to this person helps you to heal your connections, right? It's like if the energy of unconditional love is flowing through this person, maybe it's flowing through the both of you, right? Just being in proximity to somebody who has that, who is a channel for divine love, and if they're radiating that, it could be healing you, healing your family connections, you know, just by the proximity of, it's like almost like I don't want to put this person on too much of a pedestal because that's not fair on the person, but the idea of kind of like if you were in the presence of an angel, if you were in the presence of Archangel Raguel, right? I can't pronounce their name properly, I'm so sorry. You know, you would feel the energy of God, right? You would feel the energy of the cosmos, of the divine, you know, just by being in their aura, in their presence. And that being very healing. Just watch out for kind of snake oil salesmen. It's funny, I went to a museum and there was like a bottle of green liquid and it had a snake in it, and it was like a snake oil joke. Okay, what do we have here? The otter. Yeah, you seem to be looking for some kind of playmate, looking for a companion. Again, I went to the zoo and they had otters there, and I do say otters like to kind of team up and pair up, but they were running around in this little family group. They're like cats, right? But they're kind of like, I don't know, they're really, really sociable. So you're wanting to be social, you're looking for people to have connections with, you're wanting people who are like you, right? Who who you can run with, is the way it's feeling. Like, I like the otter. It's, again, it's very, very playful, very fun. So this could be telling you, like, this is how you approach that person. Be playful, be fun, keep it light. But yeah, looking to, and it's water as well, right? It's like looking to make those emotional connections. It doesn't have to be romantic either. It's just wanting more of this energy in your life, wanting, can you see how it's almost like a web in the background? Like wanting to feel this and pass it along, you know, wanting to bring more of this into the world when perhaps you've felt like you've been in icy situations. Tell me about this, the octopus. Look at the connectivity. This idea of trees and branches, right? 8 arms. This person could be really busy. They could be really juggling a lot of stuff at the moment. You know, they could be multitasking. They could be kind of like tripping over themselves a little bit to do so much, especially kind of like carrying the world energy. It's kind of coming through like 10 of Wands energy. It's kind of you know, a lot of burdens, a lot of responsibilities, but again, very, very connected. And the idea of like with the, just thinking about how octopi work, right? I think they're actually called octopuses, right? Octopuses, the plural of octopus. I think it'd be octopi if you're doing Latin, but apparently not. But yeah, the idea of kind of like there's such intelligent creatures, right? And they're so good at learning. So this could be somebody who's learning, right? They're learning, maybe doing like an online course. But again, they're taking advantage of the connectivity. So you have this connection energy, this web energy. They have this connection energy, this web energy. It's kind of like the resources at my fingertips, being able to spread myself far and wide because I'm connected, right? So it definitely feels like, it's like Wi-Fi, internet. Maybe someone works in data security. I'm hearing data security. But it's like feeding the head. Again, this idea of kind of like, because it reaches out, right? It explores. So the tentacles explore, and every single one of those kind of like suckers is kind of like an extension of the octopus's brain. The octopus's brain isn't 100% in its head. Some of its like neurosystem, its neural links are kind of, maybe it's to do with like Neuralink, you know, like Elon Musk, what's Skynet and things like that. It's like the brain extends across its body. It's and it's really sensitive, right? It feels things out. So this idea of kind of like, this person's very good at kind of feeling out along those connections. So you're very, very connected. This person's very good at exploring those connections and feeling their way along them. And bringing back information to the main, like the head. So this could be, the way this is coming through, it could be something like, maybe this is like data security. Maybe this person works for some kind of government organization. It doesn't have to be anything scary, right? It could just be marketing, right? Marketing, like, let's explore this person, let's explore their connections, let's bring all that data back to like the head of the company, because it's exploring but it's not bad, right? It's Ace of Cups, it's healing, it's good. Whatever this is, it's good. It's like you want to be connected to this. You're both part of the same network, you're both part of the same, because it's all, this reading's all about connectivity, right from the start, the idea of Jane Doe, but we're all Jane Doe. John Doe, we're all John Doe. Kind of like I am Spartacus, right? I am Jane Doe, I am John Doe. Tell me about the Page of Coins and the Wheel of Fortune. Turtle and Shark. Why am I using this deck again? Turtle and Shark. Definitely something hidden. Something emotional hidden below the surface here. and it's moving. Again, I'm just getting a lot of this kind of shark energy. I think Aries again. Aries was getting like pool shark, card shark. It's, and this could be you again as well, but, or it could be connected to this Page of Coins. Like, there's a reason why I pulled these cards. So it's under the surface, but it's armored, right? It's like it's like it's got something on its back that's protecting it, but also keeping it hidden as it goes under. So it's like hidden movement under the surface. Page of Queens, Wheel of Fortune. Like turtle energy again, look at that. Could be Cancerian placements. This is Virgo though. It's just turtles and tortoises say Cancer to me because of like the hard outer shell and soft inside. But it's saying Hermit, so Virgo. Page of Coins is Virgo. And missing something. Missing something, but again, not looking for it externally, because you're not going to find it externally. It's internal with the Hermit. The light is internal. You already have it inside you. It's not external. If you're looking for it externally, you're going to be disappointed. You're not going to find it. It's making me think, somebody had Half a World Away by Oasis. You can't give me the dreams that are mine anyway. It's an internal thing. Wheel of Fortune. Give me more on that Wheel of Fortune. The Hermit, yeah, it just keeps on saying the Hermit. It's an internal shift. It's like showing me the imagery of like the web, but it's now looking like clockwork. So it's like the web is shifting internally. The clockwork is shifting internally. The connections are shifting internally. So an internal shift, which creates a outer projection. What is that? Like, what is this? It's like, it's almost like a movie where they get the treasure, right? And it like they turn the dial, like they move it around and open it up, and then this like holy light comes out of it. It's like kind of like Indiana Jones or like National Treasure or His Mortal Instruments or something like that, right? It's like a compass or a lockbox, and you open it, the mechanism opens and like the light comes out, kind of like Pandora's box. Or let me just see what my phone's beeping at. Oh, hold on, guys. Okay, so let's keep going. This one then. Other swords, yeah, they're the ice. Because it's strategy, it's strategic. This person knows a lot. They could be very intelligent. Again, they could deal with information in some sort of way with the world and octopus. This is somebody who's very worldly, very intellectual. The Father of Swords carries a lot of knowledge. It's the King of Swords. They probably understand things like how the world works. Probably deal with a lot of facts, might be quite well educated. If they're not well educated, they just are very, very knowledgeable. Kind of like the person who watches University Challenge and can answer 8 questions and everybody's like, how did you do that? You're a genius. And again, that idea of like the ice melting to be the Ace of Cups, it feels like that's their energy. Like, how do you melt this person? How do you get this person out of their head and into the heart? Because, yeah, like the Father of Swords, right? When they're in that Swords energy, the ice energy, like they again, because they're the balance, right? Because they're yin yang. Yes, the information side of them is brilliant, but when you get them into that heart space, when you melt them, hang on. Yeah, when you melt them, it's like, again, it's like, I'm not a woman, I'm a god. I'm not a king, I'm a god. It's like a higher level of something. Because it's not something that can be thought. The Ace of Cups isn't something that can be thought. It's something that can be felt. Lovers on the bottom there as well. Like birds of a feather fly together, right? So all this internalized... I don't know if you feel very alone. I don't know if you're forgetting that you're connected. Like, connected energetically. What's the lesson here? What's meant to be understood here by Leo? There is something that's deceptive here. The moon, yeah. There's illusion here, there's deception. The illusion could be that you are disconnected. Right, you're here, they're there. But, you know, you are connected by this consciousness. The moon again, like the moon is highlighting something here. The moon's highlighting some kind of deception, something that's been hidden. And I feel like you can't look externally for answers. It's just going to confuse you. You have to find this internally, maybe through meditation, maybe just by like sitting quietly in a room and thinking on it. You know, like the answers come when you're quiet kind of energy. The deception isn't on this side. No, this is a truth speaker. This person's clarity. I don't. If the deception's anywhere, it's self-deception on your side, because this person, I asked mentally, is the deception coming over here? It's not. This person's all about integrity. They've got the Justice card, Father of Swords, this Libran energy here. This person's very much about integrity, justice system. But they are light and shadow, right? They are balanced. They're black and white, light and dark. Internal, external. Sometimes the truth is that nobody's good. Sometimes the truth is that we're all complex and that we're all good and evil. There's no heroes, there's no villains. We're all protagonists, you know? And that is a kind of clarity that only comes with a higher level of intelligence, that sees the complexity. The Father of Swords is holding this rainbow, right? He's holding all the colours of your soul. I mean, it could be a lawyer. This person could be some kind of lawyer or a legal advisor, or again, maybe somebody who has a lot of information. Maybe with the Six of Pentacles, again, very kind of like the practical side of Libran energy, this yin yang balance of the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is all about making things fair, making things equal, especially in financial terms. This person is about making sure those scales are balanced. So if you need to add more coins to one cup to make it balanced, then you're going to put more coins in that cup. Being fair and being equal isn't necessarily about dividing something up, you know, 50-50. It's about balancing an imbalance. So I don't know if there's something going on where perhaps there's some kind of legal situation where it could be a divorce, it could be a some kind of work contract, salaries, commission. I'm hearing commission. if there's some kind of like division of the assets, division of the resources. This energy seems to be preoccupied by making it fair. This person cares about fairness, about equality, about righting wrongs. And with the octopus again, it does feel like they're taking the world and the octopus. Six of Pentacles, justice. They want things to be... This may be the sort of person who takes things from one area to add them to another area to make them more equal. It's like don't spread the weight too. Like if the weight is all over here, like say you've got a net, say you've got a web, right? Like a literal web, like a almost like a trapeze, not a trapeze, like a safety net. And you're rolling marbles around on it, right? And those marbles are heavy. Like if all the marbles are on this side of the web, it's going to put a lot of stress on this side of the network. So you want to kind of like even the weight out. You want to distribute the weight equally so that the web is stronger. So again, it could be somebody who's strategic. This could be somebody who works in, just thinking about a family member. Again, it's kind of like one of those kind of degrees of separation people where, you know, it's the partner of a family member from, yeah. So they worked in distribution, right? They worked in, it was kind of like some kind of like vehicle or lorry company, and their job was to kind of like make sure, you know, the whole country was covered, and there was like wasn't too many cars in one place. The lorries and things were kind of spread out, you know, and there were people available to do the jobs as they came up, and he'd like move people to, you know, you move over to that job, you move over to that job. His whole, and it was strategic, right? It was almost like playing one of those online map games, you know. That's what that feels like an overseer, somebody who's dealing with like the dispersion of contracts in a way that's not putting too much strain or too much burden on one side of the network. They want to make sure that it's distributed equally. King of Swords again on the underlying. Yeah, I don't know who this is for you. Again, maybe it is somebody that you're interested in romantically, but again with this block, right? Why is that blocked? It's blocked and you're alone, but you're part of the network. You're not disconnected, you are connected, but you feel like your connection's blocked. It's really strange. And I'm not really, this isn't the kind of the reading where it's like I'm giving you advice. It's more of a reflection of what's going on in a situation, but I kind of feel like you need something else. Let me just get you a song. What should Leo do about this? What's going on with Leo? Because you are connected, but you feel like you're not. It's really strange. We've got an advert. So it's an advert for Galaxy Z Fold 5. I don't know if that's relevant to anybody. Maybe somebody's buying one of those. Maybe somebody distributes those. Oh, I love this song. Beautiful Disaster Live by Kelly Clarkson. Oh, it's such a beautiful song. I love the lyrics. It's so gorgeous as well if you listen to it. Beautiful Disaster Live by Kelly Clarkson. He drowns in his dreams, an exquisite extreme I know. He's as damned as he seems, and more heaven than a heart could hold. And if I tried to save him, my whole world would cave in. It just ain't right. And I don't know what he's after, but he's so beautiful. He's such a beautiful disaster. And if I could hold on through the tears and the laughter, Lord, would it be beautiful or just a beautiful disaster? He's magic and myth, as strong as what I believe, a tragedy with more damage than a soul should see. But do I try to change him? It's so hard not to blame him. Hold me tight. I'm longing It feels like it's this person, right? I'm longing for love and the logical, but he's only happy hysterical. I'm searching for some kind of miracle. I've waited for so long. I'm gonna cry. I love this song so much. He's soft to the touch, but frayed at the end. He breaks. He's never enough, and yet he's more than I can take. I'm gonna go and listen to that song and cry. I love. It's kind of this, but that's yin yang, right? Isn't it? That's the balance, the beautiful disaster. So maybe this is why the block's there, because it doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It'd be a disaster, but yeah, it's so beautiful. Oh, Leo. All right, I hope this is helpful to you. Just as well, the Father of Swords can be kind of like Doctor energy, if that's kind of relevant. High Priestess, Page of Wands and Temperance, and then Six of Swords. There's something really special there. I don't think that's a bond that can be broken. It's, again, there's something really internally connected there with that. So on the surface level, again, you may feel like you've been blocked. The connection's on ice. And you know what? Sometimes people need to have physical space. You know, they need to have a mental break. They need to have... sometimes you need to have a separation, because sometimes relationships can be too intense, right? And they do become disastrous and toxic and difficult. But that doesn't mean you're not connected on a soul level, on a heart level, on a spiritual level. And that connection can always be found internally, right? It's look at this, you know? But I don't know if you have an energy like you wishing you could turn back time here, and you're definitely looking over at this person. It's making me think of that. If I could turn back time, if I could find a way, I'd take back all those words that hurt you and you'd stay. If I could reach those stars, I'd give them all to you. All right, I hope that's helpful. Please take care of yourselves. You feel like like this hermit energy feels very healing for you. This inner connection, this inner light. It seems like that's what you're finding right now. Maybe it's like love for the self. Keep working on that. Keep focusing on that, because that feels like it's giving you everything that you need there. Okay, take care, Leo. I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.